are you, Princess? How do you feel?
I think I'm better. Especially knowing that you're here.
Oh, good. After last night, I was so worried.
I have a terrible headache. But I'm not as confused.
Well, darling, if you think you can remember more clearly now, then tell me. Why are you here in Rome?
Rusty.
You told me you were going to New York to do some shopping, and then suddenly I get a call that you're in a hospital in Rome. Why, Liza?
Rusty, you know I want to share everything
Want to share? Liza, we always told each other that we would never have any secrets between us.
I made a promise. I can't betray that promise.
How could you make such a promise? My God, we were just married. How could you keep anything that important from me? Who did you promise? Who's that important?
Rusty, it's not a matter of importance.
Then what is it? You came to Rome to see Tony, didn't you?
No, Mark, I haven't heard anything from Travis yet. And I don't know if they found Prince Stradella. And I am very worried about Liza.
You shouldn't worry. You know, it won't solve anything.
I know, but it's all my fault. And if anything happens to Liza...
Don't you think Travis would have called if there'd been any bad news? What you have to do is relax and don't worry.
How can I not worry with Liza in the hospital and Prince Stradella kidnapped by terrorists and...
Nada, what are you saying? What's happened?
Oh, it's Mark. Mark, listen, I have to go now. I will call you back as soon as I hear anything, okay? Bye.
Renata, what is it? What's happened to Liza?
Martin, it is so terrible. And it's all my fault. My fault.
This is Search for Tomorrow. This portion brought to you by Oxidol with built-in bleach for a white that says the wash is clean.
You told me you were going to New York to get a new wardrobe, but instead you came straight here. To see Tony.
Yes, I did come to see Tony. But your tone implies
Implies what? That you made an arrangement to see a notorious ladies' man behind your husband's back?
A notorious... I can't believe what you're saying to me. You think that
What do you expect me to think, Liza? Don't you know that Tony's got a mistress in every capital in Europe? That his name appears in the columns of every sensational newspaper on the continent? You know, I thought when I introduced you to Tony, you'd see through that phony charm to the real person.
I do see through Tony Bennett. Don't you know I would never do anything to hurt you?
Darling, I'm sorry. It's just that I sat here all night long, watching you, going over and over what had happened, trying to make some sense out of it.
Oh, Rusty, you couldn't know.
No, I couldn't, but it didn't matter, not last night. I was so desperately afraid of losing you.
My poor darling.
I felt so helpless. I felt lost. I kept trying to figure out what had happened.
I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry.
I think I went through every emotion there is. But I kept coming back to how angry I am with Tony for persuading you to come here. And if he had been here, I think I would have torn him apart.
Tony didn't persuade me to come. I came on my own, Rusty.
Why?
I promised Renata I wouldn't say anything, but now that all this has happened...
No, wait. You made that promise to Renata? Well, what does Renata have to do with your coming to Rome?
I came for Renata. I came to see Tony to arrange a marriage by proxy between Tony and Renata.
No, that doesn't make sense. Renata is in love with David. That's why she went back to America with him.
Yes, she loves David very much, but...
Then why does she want to marry Tony?
Renata is pregnant with Tony's child.
Renata and Tony are lovers? No, that can't be.
No, Rusty, they were never lovers. When Renata went to Tony's villa and was ill with fever, Tony raped her.
I'm shocked. Tony kidnapped. The whole thing is absolutely shocking.
And we don't know how bad Eliza's hurt. And, Martin, I am responsible for that.
Renata, don't go blaming yourself. You were just an innocent victim. But why in God's name didn't you tell someone?
I don't know. I couldn't tell anyone. I was too ashamed.
But you trusted Travis and David.
Oh, they are the last ones I could tell.
They would have understood, Renata. They love you.
I know, but I was afraid, Martin.
Of Tony Stradella? Travis and David would have taken care of him. The police wouldn't have been brought in if that was what you were afraid of.
Martin, you just don't understand. I was afraid of their own sakes, of what they might do to Tony.
Renata, I can understand that you were upset and confused, but really you should have let the people who love you help you through this terrible experience.
I know, but I couldn't.
You couldn't then. But now, if you're pregnant, you're going to have to tell him.
Yes, I suppose Travis would have to know.
Yes. Liza's going to have to give him some reason for going to Rome.
It doesn't matter anyway. Tony is beyond his reach now.
And beyond David's reach,
Oh,
too.
no, I cannot tell David. Not ever.
If he loves you, he'll want to help you.
I don't want him helping me out of pity. I'm sorry. Martin, promise me you won't tell David.
Renata, I know David's something, and I think you're underestimating him. How are you going to explain?
I've already told him that I will be marrying Prince Stradella.
And just how did you explain your sudden change of heart?
He thinks I want the money and the social position of being the wife of the prince. When all I wanted was a quiet life with David.
For God's sakes, Renata, then tell him.
No. No. It is better that he believes that of me. I don't want him to feel bound to me. I have caused him enough trouble, enough suffering.
You'll cause David a lot more suffering by not telling him.
Martin, try to understand. I cannot ask the man I love to bear another man's child.
Well, we got Susie's custody case out of the way. I just came from the judge. Joe gets full custody. Kathy, what's the matter?
Nothing.
Kathy, come on. Let me help.
Yeah. I just got his divorce petition.
Well, that really makes it final, doesn't it?
Oh, David. I feel so empty. And his binges and the arguments, they're not so important anymore. All I can think about are the good times we had together once.
It's what you should do, isn't it? Remember the good times, forget about the bad?
Maybe. You know, it's strange. I can't think of the big things. Like when we got engaged, our wedding. They're all sort of a blur. I remember the little things we used to do together. You know, Scott could be so sweet and so kind. Before everything went wrong. Oh, David, I feel like such a failure.
Stop that. Stop it. Don't blame yourself for what happened. You did not fail Scott. Not before he failed you.
But I did, David. I did. You should know that better than anyone else.
Kathy, Scott should be able to forgive you one mistake. He wasn't perfect. He has no right to expect you to be.
I know. I guess he could have forgotten it, forgiven me if it had just been you.
But not Doug.
I think he could never get over the fact that I had the son he always wanted, that he wasn't the father. That's when he started drinking. That's what's led us to this. I feel like a part of me has been cut off.
I know. It's pretty tough to let somebody go you love, even when they've told you there's no point in going on.
You sound like you're talking from experience.
I am.
Oh, a lot must have happened the year I was gone.
Yeah, someone happened. Someone pretty wonderful. Too wonderful, I guess. Too wonderful to last.
Oh, David, it's not gone bad for you, too.
Yeah, I'm afraid it has.
I'm so very sorry.
Trying to cheer you up. I'll tell you my own troubles.
David, you know you can. Even though if we did say we just talk about business.
Thank you. But I can't now. It's still too close. I bet you let me buy you some lunch, huh? It's getting to be about that time.
Sounds wonderful.
We got a lot of talking to do, partner. I'm going to make this into the best law firm in the state. People are going to hear about Sutton and Phillips. We will leave that behind. And we'll let time take care of it.
Yeah. We don't have much choice, do we? I just wanted to arrange this marriage as quickly and as quietly as possible, and now with this kidnap,
Oh, yes. When I heard about it, I was willing to do anything to get him back, but I tell you, he's better off where he is with those terrorists, because when I get my hands on him...
Rusty, we have to get Tony back. We have to do that for Renata's sake.
Scusate. Signora Centel, you must not get upset. You must rest. Signor Centel, you must tell your wife to calm down. Head injuries require much rest.
She's right, darling. I'm sorry.
Oh, your wife will be fine. You can see for yourself. But I think it would be best if you left so that she can get some sleep.
Rusty, you need some rest, too. You must be exhausted.
All right. I'll see you when we both got some sleep.
You don't worry about your wife. We will take very good care of her.
Oh, I'm glad I caught you. I just came from taping the broadcast. I want to find out how Liza is.
Well, I don't want to disappoint your audience, Allison, but I think she's going to be fine.
Good. I'm very glad to hear that.
Are you?
But you seem surprised. Don't be. I may have to report terrible news, but I don't have to glory in other people's misfortunes. And I don't. But yeah, I'm keeping you. Where are you going? Can I drop you somewhere in Rome?
Well, I came right here from the airport. Well, maybe you could drop me off at the nearest hotel.
A hotel? Oh, no, you shouldn't do that, Travis.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, think of all those hungry reporters out there. If they find out you're in a hotel in Rome, and it won't take them long, you won't be able to keep them off. There'll be a lot of unpleasant questions.
I guess that's true.
Why don't you come and stay at Tony's villa with me? It's very well protected now, and if there's any news about Tony from the police, we'll hear it first there.
No, I can't stay at the villa. I don't want to be that far from Liza.
Oh, well, I'm sure a helicopter service could be arranged. Besides, you owe me a favor, you know. I was the one who contacted you about Liza, and I did take care of her as you asked.
It's true, I do owe you.
Well, there's a very simple way to repay me. All you have to do is just tell me a little more about the background of the kidnapping. Why Liza was seeing Tony.
It's not what you thought, Allison. She had a very good and serious reason for seeing Tony.
Oh. Well, then I insist that you tell me her very good and serious reason. And we can discuss it quite comfortably at Tony's villa.
Well, I guess I can do that until I make other arrangements.
Good.
Well, what do you think?
The ambiance or the company?
Touché. I was very happy to return your hospitality. I wanted you to like this place.
Well, I must say I find the restaurant as charming as the company.
Thank you.
You know, this is rather unusual for me. It's not very often I get invited to lunch as the guest of a very lovely lady.
Oh, well, I hope you can get used to it. I hear times are changing.
Oh, do you think it's for the better?
I hope. Yes.
Mrs. Wyatt,
Yes.
this way, please.
See, the reservations are in the lady's name now.
Indeed.
Well, look, who's here, Martin? Kathy and David, and together.
We'll return to our story in just a moment.
Good to see you again, Kathy. David, I'll talk to you later this afternoon.
Yeah, I hope so.
After you.
Thank you. You just put this here.
And would you care for something from the bar?
A martini, please. Very dry.
Make that two.
Very good, sir.
I hope you don't mind my dragging you away like that. I was so happy to see the both of them together. I didn't want to spoil it by sitting down with them, or even talking about Renata, for that matter. You don't mind, do you?
I suppose not, but why?
Well, I don't wish Renata any ill, but Kathy's my best friend, and I want her to be happy.
And you think she'll find happiness with David?
Yes, I do. Well, there are things you don't know about. Martin, if I tell you something, will you swear to tell no one else?
Well, I'm not a religious man, Stephanie, but I'll give you my word. Will that do?
Your word of honor as a gentleman? Yes, it should do.
I'm glad. Now tell me, what is your deep, dark secret?
Kathy and her husband are about to get a divorce.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But isn't that a sign of the times?
No, I don't think so. I think that's one marriage that might have worked.
Doesn't everyone think that when two people get married?
I suppose so. This marriage had a particular strain that a lot of others don't have.
Oh, what's that?
Kathy's baby. It isn't her husband's child. Scott could never come to terms with it.
Well, I should think a man would be able to deal with that.
That simply?
Stephanie, I don't mean to imply that I don't understand that raising someone else's child can put a strain on a marriage, but certainly the times have something to do with it. Like, for example, when I was growing up, I don't think I knew more than 1 or 2 families that had stepchildren in them. And that difference did make it difficult for the marriage and for the children, too. But nowadays, I think remarrying and raising stepchildren is more the rule than the exception.
Very dry martini for the lady and for the gentleman.
Thank you.
Well, in this case, there was a lot of jealousy.
Jealousy. Well, I say I don't understand that, but then I've never been married.
Say that you were, and your wife was having an affair with the man that you hated most in the world. Wouldn't you be jealous?
Yeah, I suppose I would then.
And say that she became pregnant by this man while you were still married. Would you have trouble accepting the child?
Well, I might, but certainly the child shouldn't be held accountable.
And say that the baby began to look more and more like this man day by day, more and more like the man you hated. Do you think you could conquer all of that?
Well, I do suppose that would make it difficult.
Well, now you see Scott's position. Because every day the baby looks more like David.
David, the child's father.
And that's the reason I want to see Kathy and David be happy with their son.
Starting Monday, February 4th, 2 of your favorite CBS daytime dramas are moving to new time periods. As the World Turns and The Guiding Light, be sure to check your local listing for program times.
Join us each weekday for Search for Tomorrow. And stay tuned for As the World Turns 1/2 hour from now on most of these same CBS stations.